That's most definitely what's up.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. How's everybody doing? Hopefully good. I'm good. We were successful. We bought a freaking house yesterday. It's a little insane, but it happened. So obviously we're not in the new house right now. Because we have a team we hired to replace all of the baseboards in the house, and we have a lot of painting to do. So we're kind of like one thing at a time right now. But we're gonna have a shorter stream today. We're gonna go for maybe like 45 minutes here. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be back with Joel Raptor for a much needed podcast, where we're gonna catch up on stuff because it's been a couple weeks since I was on vacation, blah blah blah. And yeah, then I'm gonna start frantically moving stuff, and we got to move this whole studio. We've got to do a lot. So it's good, and I'm a little like sniffly and sickly. I don't know what happened, but I'm all stuffed up. Draw the house in MS Paint. We'll do that later. That's a different segment. Yeah. And thank you everybody for the congrats. Thank you. Yeah, it's a little daunting. There's a lot to get done, but most good things in life are daunting, right? Comes with the territory, I think. I was going to play, so here's, okay. So one of the things I have been frustrated with myself about over the last few months is that a lot of our streams typically just, I mean, they come down to us just hanging out and chatting. And that's because I like the just chatting stuff. I like just hanging out and talking about stuff. But I feel like we don't play enough games. I feel like we don't, like, it's a big thing when gamers stream, is that you stream games. And then you can still talk while you're playing the games, but you get, like, I want to play more games. Part of it is because on YouTube, they just don't really like game streams as much as they like streams about individual topics that they can treat like regular videos. And so I think what we're gonna do, and I mentioned this before, we're still partnered over on Twitch, and I think what we're gonna do, we're still gonna do the regular streams here on YouTube, but we're going to in the new place start doing gameplay streams over on Twitch, where like if I'm playing the new High on Life DLC, I'm just gonna like stream it over there because Twitch likes gameplay footage or gameplay streams better. And then we'll still do the regular stuff here. So it's not like there's less content, there will be more content. It's just normally when I'm playing games down here, I'm just doing it by myself and I'm not streaming it because YouTube streaming doesn't respond well to it. But I think I'll just start streaming it and we'll just do it over on Twitch. So. Yeah, XQC got called out for it and that Luke's feeling late. I did actually see that thing this morning. I'm just like, I want to play more games, and I feel like often we have so many things to talk about. We go through 4 hours of a stream before we've gotten everything, and I'm just like, I'd still like to play games. So what if we talked about that stuff while playing the games? You know, and we did it like maybe 6 months, a year ago or something, when I was like building the Lego Titanic, and we were building stuff and doing stuff while also doing the reactions instead of just having nothing but the reaction up. And I think that's a better way to do it. It's the same thing that like Destiny does, where he can play a game and then be doing all of his reactions and stuff on the back end. I liked watching RoboCop. Yeah, that was weirdly funny. That was weirdly good. Like it's not, okay, I should clarify. It's not good. It's kind of bad, but yeah, it was just it was surprising. It was surprising. Yeah, Lego Titanic was 6 months ago. I think it was more than that, actually. I think it was late last year. I don't know. I'd have to check. But I think it was a while ago, wasn't it? Because we moved over to YouTube. It was on YouTube, but we moved over to YouTube, I think, August of last year, I think. I'm not sure. Should play Spider-Man 2 next week. Yeah. We will. I won't go to Twitch, though. That'd be a bummer for me. Well, I mean, we could still do, I think what I'll have Jacob do is we'll still cut together super cuts of gameplay. So we'll still have that. And then if you want to watch the Twitch VOD as a video, you can do that for the gameplay. It's just YouTube treats streams like they treat YouTube videos. And so it just doesn't like that. But we'll still be doing all the regular streams here on YouTube. Nothing will change here. It's just we will now also stream gameplay over there, because otherwise I just wouldn't stream it normally. Are you excited to play as Miles or Peter? I mean, honestly, they both kind of play like Spider Boys, so like I don't know if it's gonna be a noticeable difference. I know they have different abilities and stuff, but I think once we actually get the game, we'll be able to tell much better if there's a noticeable difference between playing as one versus the other. Exaggerated swagger. Yeah, dude, that was so funny. Yeah, Spider-Man, I think it's still 10 days out or 9 days out. I think it's on the 20th, but reviews should be going up, I think Friday. I think that's what people were implying on X or Twitter. So I think in a couple days we'll get reviews. We'll see. I'm not reviewing it. I was not about to lug a PS5. Like, our luggage was heavy enough. I was not about to lug a PS5 with us across Florida. It's like, I'm good. I'm good. Fantasy Files, thank you also for the 5. Did you see the Unity CEO was fired? Also the new PS5 model. Also hope your move goes well. Really excited for those streams. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, we'll see what today looks like. I think I'm gonna start lugging a lot of this out. Jacob's gonna come and help me tomorrow, and I think we're gonna load up a lot of like the Lego sets and stuff in his car, and we're just gonna take, you know, a bunch of trips. What I'm worried about are these glass cases. These things, they're just big sheets of glass. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna move those without breaking them, but we'll see. we'll see. I honestly, they're probably not gonna make it, and we're gonna have a lot of glass to clean up, but what are you gonna do? How far am I from my new home? It's like a 35-40 minute drive from here. Yeah. So it's gonna be a lot, but I think tomorrow we can probably get most of the studio moved. So I don't know if we'll have anything. I mean, we might be able to stream like the initial setup, or at least first stages of it tomorrow. The big thing is like we have to paint the whole studio, and they're also replacing all the baseboards in the studio, which are those boards that go all the way around the room, and it's just a lot. It's a lot. So it's just one thing after another. You have to take off the old ones, then you have to throw those away, you have to bring in the new stuff, you have to cut it at the precise angle, like very, very precisely, and then you nail it into the wall, and then you have to go through and you have to caulk all the holes where the nails went in, and then you have to go through and paint the whole thing. Like, it's just a ton of steps, and it's super tedious. So I don't know how much of that the team that's over there right now is going to get done before tomorrow. I really don't know, but we'll see. Do a time lapse for takedown and setup. That could be fun. That could be fun. It's just, there's a lot of crap in this very small room right now. I mean, I've got stuff just laying on the floor, like the Lies of P collectors. It's not even collectors. This is like their ultra premium, like, I don't even know what they call it, but I just don't have room in here. And then I didn't, like, because we've been planning on moving, I don't want to put a bunch of stuff away. So I would love to see how you cable manage. You mean how I don't cable manage? Dude, the back of this desk is an actual rat's nest. It's just cables galore. And I've got like the big pack of zip ties and cable sheaths and stuff. I've tried very hard, and it gets worse and worse and worse every time I try. I see no cable. Well, I guess, yeah, it's because the camera's pointed this way. If you look like back from my perspective, you can see a good amount of cables just thrown around, but it's just because I crammed all of it behind the desk. Yeah, he showed us once. It's terrible. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Was it that stream where I couldn't get anything to turn on, and so I streamed off my phone as we were trying to troubleshoot and stuff? That was fun. That was a rough day. I don't know what it is. Every once in a while I'll come down to the studio and like one of the computers just won't turn on. It just won't post. And then I screw around with it a bunch, and then eventually it starts working. It's weird. Yeah, we can do before and after pics. I'm down for that. I don't know. I'm still not sure what exactly we're going to do. Like, if we're going to put up this paneling in the new place. The new place has carpet on the floors, so I think it'll be much better at absorbing the sound. But I don't know yet. I don't know. This stuff is super annoying. This is all put in with like push pins, like T-pins. I used to try to do the adhesive strips and stuff. It just doesn't really work too well for whatever reason in this room. It doesn't work well. So these are all put in with T-pins, and that's going to be a nightmare to get out. Yeah. Yeah, that's what PC ownership is. Daily gambles of whether it's going to turn on or not. Yep. You should add a keyboard and musical instrument to the desk. Oh, then I have 3. Like, I think Destiny has that, doesn't he? Where he has the keyboard on the side, and whenever he's talking to somebody who doesn't answer his questions or something, he just starts playing piano. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we'll look at the PS5 Slim and all that. Yeah, we'll look at that. You're lying. In that stream, you got me turned on. You're damn right I did. I do not have a sim racing wheel. No, I don't. I've seen some of the crazy stuff like racing fans are doing right now in the Gran Turismo versus Forza debate. Dude, it's insane. It's like a microcosm of the console war it's ridiculous, some of the stuff people are saying and doing. They're like, oh, you see, this bundle of grass in the reveal trailer had 5 bits of grass sticking up, and in the final version there's only 4. Clear downgrade. You know, like, it's like, bro, chill out. It's fine. Why does Sony want them to brand themselves into a luxury brand? It's so sad. Well, because they want to be viewed, and I've said this since the start of the generation. Those of you who have been here a while can attest. Sony wants to be viewed as the Apple of the gaming space, which is going to be really sucky if and when Apple gets into the gaming space, because they're going to do it better. But they want to have the pretty sleek machines that are seen as the premium product that people will pay a premium for, and that people will put up with crap in order to get. And I think that's the legacy of Jim Ryan, and we're only just now seeing the shadows of it. I mean, there's going to be a lot more that comes with it, because I mean, most of the decisions a CEO makes are only seen like 4 or 5 years after the fact. So where's the damn PS5 Slim? I was trying to pull it up. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think over the next couple of years, there's going to be a handful of things that Sony does that are remnants from Jim Ryan, where people are going to be like, what the like, people are going to be thrown off by it. I guess we can talk about, I mean, I guess we can pull it up. Like, so this is the PS5 Slim, if you didn't see it. It's slightly thinner. So this is the side-by-side. I mean, honestly, it's not as big of a size change as I was hoping. I was also hoping for something a little more unique, something a little different. But I mean, it looks like just a scale down. They have to do the side-by-side like this, otherwise you can't tell how big it is or how it's changed. Other than the vents, the little slots. And the other thing is they've gotten rid of the USB-A port on the front. So a bunch of peripherals and stuff, if you have like controller charging docks and stuff, that's not going to work anymore if it's plugged in there. And then this stand is also sold separately, which is insane. Like, I don't... Like, this is sold separately, and then they have the... Do they have the stand? A picture of the stand. Like, the stand to make it lay horizontally is just like a little bitty stick that goes right here. I don't know. I was hoping somebody had a picture of it, but I don't think so. But it's just... It comes off as kind of slimy. I think they realized everybody's vertically mounting it, so they just started selling the vertical mount separately. So you have to buy another thing. And then this piece has to be bought separately again. Like, I think eventually the average consumer starts to get sick of this kind of nickel and diming. It's $80 for the drive. Man. I just think eventually people get sick of it. Like, this was done to simplify SKUs, to make the units cheaper to ship because they're lighter and smaller. So, I mean, and when you're talking about millions, tens of millions of units and packages, a 30% reduction in volume, 18% reduction in weight, that adds up over millions and millions and millions and millions of units, which is why they did it. I mean, and it also simplified manufacturing because it's the same thing. And then this is just a separate piece you can buy that they can manufacture separately. They don't have to make 2 entirely different PS5s. I get that. I understand that, but selling the stand separately is just kind of scummy. It's like 5 cents in plastic. Like, come on. And does anyone know how much the stand is? Does anyone know if they've said how much it is? It's $30. Wow. What? I don't think anybody's gotten their hands on it, but one of the things with the regular PS5 is that you can just stand it on its end. Like you can just set it, it's pretty flat. You can just set it there and you don't even need to really use the stand. You should probably still use it because of airflow, but you can just set it upright. It would not surprise me at all, if they have like a little bump or something on the bottom of this to make it so like you have to buy the stand to get it to stand vertically. That would be my guess, is that they've done something scummy like that to force you to buy the $30 piece of plastic so you can't just set it up vertically like the old one. Man. Speculation, but if they're going to go so far as to make the stand $30 separately, it would not surprise me if they added a little bit of a bump so that it doesn't stand or stay upright by itself. Oh, man. Speculation. Oh, man. It's every time I see a new piece of Sony hardware, I'm just like, really, guys? Like, is this what we're doing? This is what we're doubling down on? Okay. So, I mean, obviously, you're not going to buy one of these if you already have a PS5. There is literally zero reason, especially when next year they are allegedly going to be releasing a Pro variant. So even if you have money burning a hole in your pocket and you're like, oh, I just like buying the latest tech, hold off. There's going to be a Pro variant in a year. Just wait. And there will be like an actual difference there. With this is just, yeah, it's a little disappointing. Did they improve or increase the storage capacity? I don't see. I don't think so. So I don't know. I think it's 1 terabyte. Okay. Branislav, thank you for the super chat, my friend. It's a little something. It's a little something. I don't know. They say it's 1 terabyte, but like 275 gigs is dedicated storage. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just true of everything. Like even on your iPhone, a good chunk of it is taken up. On Windows, it's the same thing. It's just comes with the territory. Doing an Apple. I mean, for them, it's just they want to be viewed as the premier luxury gaming brand, and I think they've succeeded in that. I mean, there's not really an alternative. Xbox is viewed as budget targeted and also very consumer oriented, which is fine, but like it's the distinction between Target and Apple, or Target and Walmart, where Xbox is Walmart. They have a big selection, it's accessible, it's cheap and affordable. But then Target is like, oh, but our stores are nicer and we have nicer products, and they're more expensive, but they're nicer. So if you shop here, you're probably doing better than if you only shop at Walmart. Yeah, even though they're still kind of the same thing. Yeah. It's like, if you're really looking for fancier stuff, like go shop at Whole Foods. You want to get a lunch, it's going to be $80. But, you know, if you want to go, you know, you're choosing between Target and Walmart, I think you're in the same stratosphere. Stefan, thank you for the super chat. The only slims that matter are the portable ones. Why would I care about a home console getting slimmer? The floor can handle the old one just fine. That's funny. That's funny. I think you're right. I think more than anything, like they make them slim because then it feels different. It feels new. And that is, I guess, reason for some people to buy it. But also it's done to simplify and cheapen shipping costs and manufacturing costs and stuff like that. And beyond anything, it's just I think it's to try and create something fresh. They'll discontinue the old ones that are a little thicker and more expensive to produce and ship, and they'll just do this. But I mean, I think you're going to see people hunting out the old school ones, because aren't these the same price as the current versions? So I don't know. Yeah, we're just a stretch to 50K on this channel. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. This started as like a little fun side project, and it's actually doing decently well. Hey, Luke, do you watch the UFC? Yeah, not as actively as I used to. Not because I don't want to. I just... I can't keep track of it. I've lost track of a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happens constantly. But yeah, I'll watch like the big events and stuff. Love me some UFC. Digital is $4.50. Really? What? That's crazy. Branislav, thank you for another super chat. You get a free stand that works for the horizontal setup. The $30 one are only if you want to put it vertically. Still quite expensive. Yeah, well, and I think what makes it sting more, Branislav, is that like the last version had the stand included. So this feels like a step down that you have to pay more to fix. Like they removed something from the box, and it's like a cheap something. It's not like they removed the controller. Like this is a chunk of plastic and a screw. Like that's it, you know? It just doesn't make sense. It's just nickel and diming. It's cringe. Yeah, creating an issue to sell the solution. Yeah. It's like the old thing where they're like, if you want to run a successful business, identify a problem and then sell the solution. Once you get to be a big corporation, you just create the problem and then you sell the solution back to everybody. It's insane. Yeah, Crisco, thank you for the 5. Did you see the thing about Bobby Kotick and James Corden? How is he still CEO? Thought he got ousted. He's an awful human. Let's look at that. Okay, let's look at that. So if you did not hear this story, this is insane. This is pure insanity, and it's delicious. It's so stupid, but it actually is kind of exciting at the same time. Let me show you what I mean. Activision hired James Corden to host an employee meeting with Bobby Kotick. What on earth does that mean? Well, I follow a handful of people that work over at Activision on Twitter, X, whatever, and I talk to some of them every once in a while. And one of the interesting things is if you can find some of these like Activision or Insomniac or Naughty Dog employees, they're friends with everybody else on the team in the company, right? And so often they will put out tweets and they'll talk to each other on these social media platforms about stuff that happened at work, not realizing that the world can see it. And so when this meeting was happening, I saw people in those groups start to tweet out, OMG, this meeting is insane. Is this even real right now? Like I started seeing these messages come up. People were losing their minds. And it turns out it was because of this James Corden thing. So, freed from his tenure as a U.S. talk show host, Gavin and Stacey star James Corden yesterday teamed up with controversial boss Bobby Kotick to host a town hall meeting for Activision Blizzard employees. The internal event, held days before Microsoft is expected to finally close its $68.7 billion takeover of the company, was not available to view publicly, but Windows Central has reported on what was discussed. Kotick reportedly reminisced about Activision's journey as a company so far and also dropped several hints about its future, including an intriguing mention of the long dormant Guitar Hero franchise. And this is where I'm just going to say up front, I'm going to pause the music for this because this is heartfelt. I love me some Guitar Hero. Okay. We have not had Guitar Hero in like a decade, and back in the day, there was nothing quite as fun as going over, having friends over and playing Guitar Hero all together at a party. You got, two people on the guitars, or one person on a guitar, one person on the bass. You got the drums, the singer, everything. And you just rock and roll. It was so fun. It was so fun. And that's just largely gone nowadays. And those controllers are still pretty hotly desired. I mean, on secondary marketplaces like Facebook Marketplace or eBay or Craigslist, those kits will still sell for hundreds of dollars because they aren't really making them anymore, as far as I understand it. There's, I'm sure, secondary or rather third-party companies that do it, but a lot of people still love Guitar Hero, but they've just put it on ice and not touched it. And it's probably because it's freaking expensive as hell to license all the music and to make something like that profitable in the modern day. But maybe Microsoft is able to negotiate better contracts with music licensing or something, or they do a partnership with Spotify where they stream the songs through Spotify, so they pay those royalty rates instead of fully licensing the albums or something. I don't know, but they hinted that it could be returning after this Activision acquisition goes through, which I would be okay with. They go on. There does not seem to have been any mention of a potential exit by Kotick following Microsoft's acquisition of the business. There also does not seem to have been any mention made of the company's various harassment scandals. Yeah, I mean, it's an internal meeting that they're like patting themselves on the back about running a big company and making lots of money. So I would not expect them to be like, guys, we've had a great year. We're so excited. We're about to be acquired by Microsoft for $68.7 billion. Now let's talk about John, who assaulted a coworker. Like, of course they weren't going to do that. That's no surprise to me at all. Not really the time and place for them to get into that type of thing, I don't think. But they go on. And also Kotick leaving. That if Kotick leaves, as I said when the deal was first announced, I think he will hang around for like 6 months to a year while they like privately train up a replacement, and then he'll quietly retire after the fact. I don't think he's looking to hang around much longer. And also, just as a business professional, he's kind of, if this goes through, he's kind of done everything. Like, he took a company that was initially struggling, he merged a bunch of companies together, he built it up to this big thing through kind of slimy means, to be fair. I don't think I'd be friends with Mr. Bobby. But he's kind of done the thing, which is to sell your company for billions of dollars to Microsoft. That's kind of the end all be all of most companies. So I wouldn't see him hanging around much longer. I think he's kind of done everything he sought to do, you know? But he goes on. When asked by James Corden, because apparently they hired him to interview him for some reason. When asked by James Corden how Activision will retain the company's culture while part of Microsoft, Kotick told the Cats star. I forgot he was in Cats, wasn't he? Oh my God. He told the Cats star that the company had a, quote, magic and, quote, special culture, and that it was the same, quote, magic that attracted Microsoft. Which really, no matter how hard you try to understand what the hell that means, it doesn't make any sense. It really is just a bunch of nothing words. Like, what? How are you going to retain company culture after an acquisition by a multinational corporation? With our magic? Oh, okay. Good answer, bro. Looking to the future of gaming, Kotick told Corden he expected devices akin to Elon Musk's Neuralink, an implantable brain-computer interface to push things forward. I think you'll see things like Neuralink. You'll actually be able to interact with things on the screen where there isn't a controller, Kotick said, noting that this could mean a headset or earpiece or other type of sensor. Yeah, probably eventually. That would not surprise me at all. Kotick said he was keen to see Activision titles, quote, the very best franchises in all of video games, and, quote, backed by the development and research resources of Microsoft. The re-emergence of Guitar Hero and other things would not be possible without the different types of resources, which implies that the re-emergence is already happening. Like, that's at least what I take that as. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're already working on stuff. Microsoft's expected acquisition of Activision Blizzard will close a 20-month chapter of court hearings and regulatory hurdles as it finally takes ownership of everything from Call of Duty to Candy Crush. Activision has said not to expect its new games on Game Pass immediately, however. But at the same time, apparently a lot of people are already seeing hints and little things that would imply that most of their stuff is going to end up on Game Pass very, very quickly. So, all told, I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. I would love for them to reboot Guitar Hero. The more baffling thing with all of this is just, why was James Corden hired? Like, what? How does that make any sense? Like, he also apparently he is like a very nasty person, allegedly. Stories of him going to restaurants and treating the staff horribly, treating the staff on his show horribly. He's just like a spoiled brat, according to a lot of statements from people that are familiar with it. And so he's just a nasty, nasty guy. It's the same thing that happened with like Ellen DeGeneres, where there were a bunch of allegations around her show where it was like, oh, she's apparently just like an actual monster. And same thing with him. Apparently it's a common thread with some of these daytime talk show hosts. But why not Jimmy Fallon? Apparently Jimmy Fallon is like, I don't know if he still is, but apparently for a long time he was like a raging alcoholic and had all sorts of problems as well. Just a lot of these talk show hosts are just kind of walking disasters. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Stefan, thank you. Rockstar claimed they will revolutionize entertainment with GTA 6. How do you imagine they will do that? Integrate Spotify or Netflix in the game? Maybe. There could be stuff like that. I think there's going to be... I mean, I'm just like, I think of all the crap they did with GTA 5 and how ahead of its time that game was. And I'm just trying to think, if they keep pace and they do something just as revolutionary in the modern day, just think what it would take for a game to still be relevant and impressive, released today, but still impressive in 2033. With how quickly things are developing. Like, I don't know if they're bringing in AI stuff. I don't know if they're going to bring in like language models for NPCs. I don't know if they're like, I have no idea what they're doing, but they seem confident that this is going to be something really amazing and something crazy. And I hope it is. I hope it is. Like, even if it's just like GTA 5.1 or 5.5 or whatever it is, and it's a really reworked version of it, but it's the same kind of thing, I'd still have a great time with it. But I would guess after years and years of work and a ton of money poured into it, it's going to be pretty insane. But at this point, it's all just speculation, really. But yeah, of course they're going to say it's going to revolutionize entertainment. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Rango, thank you for the 2. Could Diablo 4 on Game Pass save it? Personally, I don't think so. I think they have to win back player favor, and the only way you're going to do that is with new content that is wildly impressive. Like, they just have to win people back over, because right now the perception among everybody is that Diablo 4 is like a game that was initially really solid that's been screwed up by developers who have no clue what they're doing, and they have to change that. And like Rafs is saying that the latest patch is great in terms of balancing and stuff. I don't doubt it, because Blizzard clearly knows what they're doing. They launched Diablo 4 in like the low 90s on Metacritic. People loved it. But they have to make the public understand it and believe that. And that's the harder thing. It is very easy to destroy your credibility with an audience. It just takes Asmongold making a couple of videos and tearing you a new one. But rebuilding that takes months and months, if not years of work. And that's why, honestly, I'm surprised that these big companies don't like really suck up to people like Penguin Zero or Asmongold and these guys, because they can straight up ruin a game that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make. They can destroy its public perception in a couple of videos. Like, and if you don't believe that, like, man, I'll tell you what, it's crazy. It's crazy what they're able to do with a couple of videos. And Tough Shoe, thank you also for the $4.99 super chat. I'm new to the channel. Welcome, my friend. I just want to give my 50p and say that the more I play Starfield, the more I wish they just made Fallout 5. Off topic, I'm sorry. Oh no, you're fine. I'm really interested in seeing what the long-lasting impression of Starfield is. I think already after playing Phantom Liberty, a lot of people have had their perspective broadened. And people are like, oh wait, yeah, it does feel like way behind what current studios are doing. So I think that that's an interesting development, like that perception has changed so much already. But yeah, we'll just see in 6 months kind of where people are at. I'm already sensing, like, just normally for big games like that, we have just a flood of people asking constantly about like the critique. When's that coming? When can we expect it? More people reach out to me asking for Baldur's Gate 3 than Starfield by a lot. And in the last few weeks, more people have been asking for a Phantom Liberty critique and in-depth analysis than Starfield. Like, and of course, my audience is in a niche, and it's not an empirical thing. But it seems like a lot of people have kind of moved on, and whether that's gonna remain the case or not, who knows? But it's been very interesting to see. It's not played out the way I think any of us expected. Spider-Man 2, no, as of right now, I'm not reviewing it. I don't have any copies of it. If I did, I would just be like, ooh, I can't talk about it or something like that. But I don't have any copies of it. I don't have anything super sneaky, scary to share. I've been talking with the agency that hands out the codes and stuff, but I told them that, like, I'm moving and traveling, so like it's not likely that I'd be able to get a full-fledged review out, because pretty much the moment we wrap up this stream, we're going to be packing up this whole studio and stuff. So they might still send it a day or two early, and we'll do like an I tried video or something. I don't know, but I don't plan on doing a full review. Just didn't time out well. Give me a copy. I'll email them. I'll let them know. Yeah. Damn, I wanted the Luke Stevens review of Spider-Man. Yeah, it's just sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles, and it just is what it is. There's not much you can do about it. In this case, it was not that like we didn't try, we didn't want it. It's just like the game happens to be releasing at a time, and the review codes went out while I was out of state, and so I didn't have a PS5 with me. So I'm like, so even if they sent it now, I couldn't play it now. And then I get back and we buy a house, and then we have to move everything. So it's like, it just landed at the perfect time to not work. And sometimes that happens, you know. I'm glad it wasn't like right at Starfield or right at, you know, one of the bigger games of this year. But not that Spider-Man isn't big, but, you know, it could have been worse, I think. Have you ever done a No Man's Sky review? Not a sorted review. Not a sorted review. I've gone and tried it and played it off and on. It's just a massive game at this point. It's not like, if I were to do it, it would be a big project. There's just so much. So much. Let's see. Oh yeah, we'll mention this real quick. Yeah, John Riccitiello. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't care. He's retiring as the president and chief executive officer and chairman, and as a member of the company's board of directors, effective immediately. He was the head of Unity. He was the guy that like pushed out this insane pricing model change where they wanted to charge people based on installs. They wanted to charge game studios and publishers based on the number of installs made with their engine. And then they started trying to walk it back because a bunch of indie devs were like, no, we're not doing that. Like, we'll just cancel our game and move it to another engine. Like, we're not doing that. That's insane. And he basically destroyed the goodwill of the company in about a day, which is kind of amazing. This is the guy that when he worked at, was it EA? He actively entertained the idea of charging as an in-game microtransaction, charging for reloads on weapons. So like to reload your gun, you needed to spend 5 battlefield points, and those 5 battlefield points or coins were like a microtransaction thing you had to buy, like V-Bucks, and so you'd have to pay to reload your weapons and stuff. Like pure insanity. But that's this guy. He's just like, you should always keep your options open to charge customers, however. And he tried to do it with Unity and basically seemingly destroyed the company, which is hilarious to me. You know, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. But he's going to just retire and walk away with millions and millions and millions of dollars. And that's just how it is, unfortunately. But, you know, he's been kind of humiliated in the process. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. But he's a guy, we looked him up. His background was with, like, Pepsi and a bunch of other companies like that. He is not a gamer at heart. This guy, let's see. Yeah, he went to EA eventually, but he started at Clorox and then PepsiCo, and then he moved to the Haagen-Dazs division of the Grand Metropolitan. Then he was named the CEO of Wilson Sporting Goods, and then chairman of McGregor Golf, and then he worked for Sara Lee's Corporation, and then moved to EA in October of 97. Like, he's not a gamer. He is a corporate guy that just shifts from one thing to another, and in this case, it eventually caught up to him. He pushed a little too far. Yeah, another Jim Ryan fellow. This is why it matters, like if the people that lead your company are actual gamers or not. That's why it actually matters. I doubt he was the only problem at Unity. Well, the other thing is, a decision like that doesn't get made by one person. That was the executive team that thought that that was a good strategy. They had to get lawyers involved. They had to get marketing and finance people involved. The fact that their company worked on that for months and then rolled it out like that and seemed baffled at the response shows just how incompetent they really were, that they had no idea it was going to be received like that. You could have asked anybody in the public and they would have been like, no, this is a horrible idea. But it just is what it is. $0 G Row. Nice. Thank you for the 2. Good luck on your move. Thanks for everything. Thank you. And yeah, I'm going to need the help. It's crazy. Brandon Reyes, also 12 months. Oh man, it happened. It finally happened. 12 months of support. That's crazy. 12 months watching Luke Skeptic Eye. Cheers to 12 more. Also patiently waiting for that Mega Starfield vid. You think in December? I'm hoping that once we get all moved into the new place, I can just put my head down and crank through it. We'll have Spider-Man. We'll do a couple of videos on that, but I think we will grind it out. I'm hoping like mid-November at the latest, and then Baldur's Gate 3, maybe December or January. There's just a lot. There's a lot. So we'll get to that. And then Justin Stoll, thank you also for the 5. What handheld, bar the Switch, do you recommend? Deck, ROG, what? I would say hands down at this point, the ROG Ally. It has some quirks, like the micro SD card doesn't work super well, like, so that's a thing. But the big thing with the ROG Ally is that it's a Windows device. It's not just like a Steam like shell of a bunch of other stuff. So you can just download Uplay natively. You can download Game Pass natively and just install games through that. Whereas on the Steam Deck, you can technically do it, but it is very difficult. It's like you have to go into the launch command line thing and you have to swap over to desktop mode and put it in this nested folder with these permissions. It's super, super annoying. Whereas the ROG Ally, it just works because it's a Windows device. It's just like booting up a little laptop, basically. So I would say, without a doubt, I think the ROG Ally is the better option. Um, I have not had any issues with the RG Ally X button. Maybe that is a thing. I haven't had any issues with it. I think they definitely had some quality assurance issues, especially when it first was out, but it seems like they've fixed most of it. The Legion Go seems cool, but I don't know how useful the detachable controllers are going to be. Like, I can't think of Windows games where I would use that. Maybe like some people do really like detaching it and being able to play games with their hands apart. I don't really like that, honestly. It's kind of uncomfortable for me, but that thing definitely looks cool. I'd be open to trying it, but Nashman, thank you also for the 5. How long till the next stream when Luke, then Luke, as you are moving, good luck. Yeah, it's probably, I think we'll still do something on Friday. I think it'll probably be like a handheld phone stream from the new place. Because basically I think this is the last, we'll do the podcast here in about 10 minutes, but I think this is the last thing we're probably doing in this room, in this studio, because we're going to move the internet service over to the new place. So there will be no internet connection here. So I won't have a choice, which will be fun. Let's see. Hope all goes well. I am currently buying by found asbestos. Oh, you're currently buying, but you found asbestos, so you're looking again to a new house. Jesus. Yeah, go somewhere else. Yeah, go somewhere else. Asbestos you don't mess with. Jesus. Yeah, that's pretty bad. No, you're fine, Nash. Like, I had to put it together, but wow. Yeah, don't stay there. Asbestos bad. I'm glad you found it though. Like, that was our thing where we found this sewer line issue. If we hadn't found it, we would have just been at the house, noticed the toilets struggled to flush and stuff, and then we would have had a plumber come out and scope it and realize, oh shoot, yeah, this is like a $28,000 problem. And so thankfully we found it ahead of time, and then they were forced to fix it. And honestly, the nice thing about it, they had to take out some shrubbery, some bushes and stuff in order to get the pipe laid down and to replace it and stuff. And we already wanted those bushes pulled and we didn't have to do it. So it was like free landscaping work. It was great. It was wonderful. So thank you again for the super chat. Justin, also thank you for the 20. Jesus, thank you. As flawed as AC Mirage is, it brought me straight back to my teenage years of getting lost in AC for hours upon hours. Been watching your critiques and streams for a couple of years now. Love your perspective and want to support. Thank you, Justin. That's very sweet. And yeah, it's one of those things where I think people are, I understand a lot of the critiques and criticisms around AC Mirage. It's clearly not like a perfect game. It's far, far from a masterpiece, but it's, for old school fans, it's almost exactly what they were looking for. You know, more like drawn out and more expanded parkour systems would have been cool. I would have liked to have like the villa system from AC2 and Unity with the restaurant. I would have liked to have seen stuff like that implemented. That would be super cool. I love that stuff. But all told, like, it does what it was trying to do, which is why it was so stupid when I see people like trying to review it and they're like, it feels like it's 10 years old. Like, therefore bad. And I'm like, guys, this is one of those rare cases where that's actually a good thing, because that's exactly what they were trying to do. It's like going in and playing a pixel art game and being like, the graphics are terrible, the resolution is laughably bad, everybody's pixelated. It's like, yeah. That's kind of the point, bro. Like, I hate to break it to you, but that's sort of what they were going for. Oh man, it's just so stupid. Spec Ops, hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Thank you for the super chat. That's very generous. Very, very generous. Thank you. Some moving pizza money. Oh, thank you. We'll need it. My goodness. Sorry when MIA got sick, then started working with special needs school for the last 7 months. Good luck. No, you're totally fine, man. Hopefully everything is well. I know you had some stuff going on. I didn't want to like poke and prod, and like, I figure when people step away, there's usually a reason for it, and I want to respect that. So I'm hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're okay. But yeah, reach out sometime. And yeah, Neon, Joe Raptor's going to join in like 3 minutes. So what we're going to do, buckle up everybody. What we're going to do is we are going to do the podcast here in just a second with the one and only Mr. Joe Raptor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the link to that event. It's already been created. It's like a separate stream event. There we go. So if you pull that link up that I just posted in chat, that will take you to the event for the podcast, which will start in just a few minutes. I will end this stream and we're just going to move over to that one. So it's like its own thing if people want to watch the podcast back. Okay. So we'll pop this, we'll end this stream and we'll just shift over there. Okay. So everybody click that link in chat, pop on over. We'll see you in just a second. Okay. Much love. We'll see you very, very soon. See you in a second.